The legacy at Preston Hollow is among many assisted living communities in North Texas. Find out what sets this premier senior residence apart from the others, next on Prime. Welcome back to Prime. I'm Paige Stafford. The legacy at Preston Hollow is located in the heart of North Dallas and is among the largest in the Metroplex. I'm here with Jerry McDonald from the legacy at Preston Hollow, who's here to tell us more about it. Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the history of legacy at Preston Hollow.
Well, our organization actually started almost 60 years ago. Our original community is the Dallas Home for Jewish Aged, and it was located on the Golden Acres campus in East Dallas. And we were there for 55 years. And during that time, we grew to 265 skilled nursing home beds and 40 independent living apartments. And 5 years ago, we moved to our new location, the legacy at Preston Hollow. And we have 41 assisted living apartments and 113 skilled beds.
Okay, so a very rich history there.
Yes. Yes.
So what are the different services available to seniors at the legacy at Preston Hollow?
Well, as I said, we have assisted living, and assisted living really broadens a range of services based on someone's needs. It could be as simple as they need housekeeping and meals provided and medication management, or they may need help with dressing and daily activities of living. We have a short-term rehab unit that focuses on physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. We have wound care, IV management, a host of other nursing services to help someone recover from a short-term stay at a hospital. And then we have long-term care as well for someone who has chronic illnesses that need to be managed daily.
Okay. And so I understand that you received a deficiency rating for the second year in a row. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And can you tell us a little bit about it and who grants this rating?
Well, it's from the State Department of Human and Health Services. They come in, they're with us about 4 days. It's a team of nurses. There's usually sometimes a dietitian, other experts of geriatric care, and they really look at all aspects of what we do. Everything from how things are operated in the laundry and housekeeping for infection control purposes, into the kitchen for sanitation, how are meals prepped and served, and then they really get into the clinical side of what we do. They observe IV therapy being given. In the wound care, is it medication management? They review our medical records. They look at our documentation. Wow. They really have started in the last few years really spending a lot of time talking to residents and family members about their take on things. It's really becoming much more about resident choice and how they want their care delivered. And so they spend a lot of time listening to them. And after the survey period is over, the 4 days, then they determine if you have any practices that are deficient. It does not mean we're not perfect, but it means we have good systems in place. We have a team of caring team workers and professionals that are really trying to serve our residents and meet their expectations and family members as well.
Well, it sounds like you're close to perfect.
Well, thank you.
So they can come unannounced.
It is unannounced.
Right. So what do you do every day to ensure that you keep receiving this amazing rating year after year? Well,
it is 2 years in a row, so we are proud of that because
yes,
it is an ongoing process. It is an everyday process. You can't provide quality care because they show up on a Tuesday and, okay, you pull it together. You've got to do it every day.
Every day.
It's part of our mission. We are a community asset, and we want to be proud of what we do. I think the people we work with have to have that mission inside that we really want to do the very best. And when a concern is brought to us, that we need to address that. We also spend a lot of time training our staff. You have to give them the tools to do a good job, and that really starts with training. And then working with people and requests. A lot of the things that we do are very, it's doctor ordered, and those are the things that we do, but how we go about giving it sometimes can be unique and special to meet that resident or family member request.
So with the new healthcare reform, how is that impacting the skilled nursing industry?
Well, there is much more accountability being put upon someone we accept from the hospital who's coming in for a short-term stay, how well we manage their care. If we send them back perhaps to the hospital for mismanagement or something has not gone well, then the hospital is also being judged and held accountable because they discharged them to us. You know, did they discharge too soon? Was there issues resolved? Or did something else occur, you know, that may not be related, but they are beginning to track that more closely. It is becoming important that therefore the training to make sure we have the right clinical skill sets, if we accept somebody that we can really truly meet their needs. Also with the accountable care organizations and the changes in Medicare is that our rates have been cut. So we're actually expected to do more work and more care with less revenue to do that. You know, and that's why being a not-for-profit, you know, has been helpful for us as we do depend upon our donor base to help us out with special projects, not with day-to-day care, but with things that help free up our dollars for other things.
Right. So what proactive measures do you take with patients in rehab?
Well, you know, in therapy and in a skilled setting, it's really important to try to, you know, when you go in and assess somebody, to determine what their level of function is at that moment, and they have their goals that they're working toward. And in a skilled nursing facility, you can begin slowly. So if someone needs 30 minutes or an hour every day and they need to build up and they're only walking 20 feet today and they need to be walking 200 feet upon discharge, then we can work with those individuals even slowly to make sure they gain that strength. A lot of our residents who come just aren't coming because they have a broken hip.
Right,
they have
other issues.
They have other complications. The average age is probably about 85. So their rehab can still occur. You've just got to be patient with that process.
Right.
You know, so I think we try to work with people in what they can do. We have to nudge them, you know, at times and strongly encourage, but there's a way of doing that.
Right.
You know, and be persistent with them. You have to be persistent.
Right.
You know.
And so are you always looking for volunteers?
Oh, absolutely. The volunteer program really enriches upon what we do because the staff are busy with their day-to-day operations. I actually started off as a volunteer at a nursing home when I graduated college and did that for several months. And really, that was my first introduction into senior living and led me later to change careers and go back to school and become an administrator. But volunteers really add that enrichment because they can come in. They don't have a long to-do list today. You know, and they can come in. They can spend 30 minutes visiting with somebody and helping them and just talking sometimes, being with them, or take them outside where maybe our staff really can't do all of that, not with all of them.
Yeah, just the simple things, and you see the value in it because that's where you started.
Right.
So tell us about the YES initiative.
Okay. Well, I've been in healthcare for about 17 years, and I have strongly learned to believe that we really are here to serve, and you have to build a team of people who care enough to make things happen. So about 3 years ago, I created the YES initiative, where I wanted all of our team members to say yes to things. Sometimes it's saying yes to each other to make something happen, but really, you know, if things come our way as a request from a resident, a team member, a family member, a visitor, that we should do whatever we can in our power to make that happen. So we started off very simple with a yes button, and just trying to build everyone thinking about saying yes. The first time I wore my button, a resident asked me, "What's that button about?" And I said, "I'm here to say yes to you." And she said, "Okay, I want some croutons for my salad." It was, you know, it was very simple.
I want this.
Yeah, but you know, that was her request. Yeah. Absolutely. I've been challenged since then with some other things, but it's been good. I had a lady in rehab who wanted to bring her dog in with her. The dog, she lived alone, and the dog was being cared for her neighbor. That's a little unusual, and you know, but she was doing well in rehab, and so I didn't have a good reason to say no. Okay, bring your dog and let's see how it goes. And it went fine. It really did. So that's a good yes story for her.
Well, I think that's wonderful, and I'm sure it carries over into many of your staff members' personal lives too, just doing that all day, saying yes and having that positive attitude. I'm sure it affects their lives.
I'm sure they use it at home.
So with that thought in mind, the Yes event is an event coming up in December. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, yes. About a year ago, we had this large yes in our lobby, and our director of development, Andrea Statman, was in with her new partner, Patsy Goodman, and they were working on our auxiliary event, but did not have a theme for it. They were just in the development stage, and Patsy asked, what's the yes about? And I went to my story and shared that, and then about a week later, they decided, you know, we need to build a whole donor event around the yes theory and the yes attitude. If we go out and ask donors to support us and they say yes, then we can continue saying yes to our residents and families. And so we held our first event last November, and we're about to hold our second event on December the 11th at the new Omni Hotel downtown, and Neiman Marcus is our sponsor. So we're very excited about that.
It's going to be fabulous. So next weekend, or 2 weekends from now, a couple of weekends, Father's Day. What are you doing for Father's Day at the Legacy?
We're doing Jazz with Dad. So we're having sort of a happy hour, or we're doing a nice lunch, and then we're doing a happy hour and having some musicians from the symphony and the Texas Wind organization come in and perform for them.
Well, that'll be so fun.
It is. It's important to bring entertainment and life back into the community, as residents sometimes aren't able to go out as much. A couple other things that we've done that have been great. We did a Honolulu event, and
did you have hula?
We had hula dancers. They were a big hit, you know, and they walked the whole building and did that. Last year we had some belly dancers come in. They're also a big hit for all the residents, because they are entertaining. And it brings back memories of things they've done in the past and those things. For Valentine's, we did a night in Paris, romantic settings and music and French menu and some champagne served. And, you know, that's a part of life, whether you're there short term or long term.
Well, sounds like you really make it enjoyable for your residents. Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. And you can learn more about the Legacy at Preston Hollow by visiting thelegacyph.org, or you can call 214-363-5100. And you can keep up with us on Prime, visiting onprimetv.com, and we're on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm Paige Stafford. See you next time.